August and another scorching hot day. Did you hear that sort of burble over the back of the music? It's 6:30 on the 12th of August, scorching hot day in prospect. Summertime. This is Rouser Radio out of Lewes in East Sussex. I hope that somebody will swell the audience by one today, and then we will really be on our way. Not easy, this DJing thing, you know. If you press the wrong button, you're in trouble. So welcome to another summer day. We can't complain that we haven't had summer. It's funny, isn't it? You know, those people who have summer from sort of March until October, they beg for rain. And here we have just 3 or 4 days of hot weather, and we think we've had a summer. But it hasn't been bad. It's been warm, to say the least. Warm. I'm Keith Hayes. This is Rouser Radio, right out of Lewes in East Sussex in the UK. We are not out of Delaware in the United States. However, we like Delaware in the United States. It's a lovely town, about 3,000 people, I believe, except when it is hot. And then, of course, the numbers swell because it is a coastal community. Lovely beaches and all that sort of thing. Where are we this morning, then? Well, good news is, I suppose, that it is going to be hot. The bad news is that recession is on the way. If, in fact, we are probably already in it. At least 750,000 people have lost their jobs so far, and the start hasn't even been reached. The starting point hasn't even been reached. So economically, we're in a bad time. I don't know whether this government, or particularly local governments, are really geared. Well, I'm very critical of them anyway. So take some things that I say with a grain of salt. But I don't know whether they're really fit for purpose, whether they can cope. I mean, we could probably give it 2 jobs right now because we're on the up. We're booming. Rouser Radio and Mirador Television. But are they interested? Not a bit of it. It depends which form you fill in. Oh dearie me. I hope that this is where we're going to see a whole lot of change after the virus. A whole different way of looking at things, because the old way has got us nowhere. It's got some people fat, and with every move the fat have got fatter, and the lean have got leaner. I begin to sound like a revolutionary, and that is one of the nasty things this morning, that a group so full of self-belief about coronavirus, and they believe that we should not have a lockdown, that our freedoms are being tampered with, are now going in military style into supermarkets, and yesterday it was Morrison's, and telling shoppers, throw your masks away and get out and don't go here. Nothing like somebody who wants to tell you what to do in the name of free speech and the name of freedom of action. And yet, in some ways, you have a certain sympathy for the way that they've started to think, because there is no question that huge masses of the population do not think in terms of rule of law. The sun's out, roar to the beach. Well, what about lockdown? What about social distancing? To hell with it. Anyway, they didn't really mean us. They meant that other lot down the road. Oh, how we twist and turn, and actually we get ourselves into knots in our thinking. Basically, rule of law is a problem in many parts of the world. And I'll tell you what rule of law, or lack of it, ends up at, and that is dictators and dictatorships. So be careful when you've got it. This freedom that we have, okay, it may be limited. It may not be everything that we want. But the moment you start to tamper with the whole concept of rule of law, be careful what you wished for or what you aimed for, because it might not be exactly the sort of thing that you wanted in your stocking at Christmas. Oh, dearie me, dearie me. Let's get into the mood of summer, shall we? Ooh, yes, indeed we shall. There's one here. Let's start Sunshine Summer with Chris Hogan. That sounds as if it will give us a lively start to the day. It is 6:36 in Lewes, in East Sussex, on the south coast, or almost the south coast, of the United Kingdom. I'm Keith Hayes. This is Rouser Radio. Here we go with Sunshine Samba. Well, a bit gentler than I thought, Sunshine Samba by Chris Hogan, but nonetheless perhaps a way to get us into the day, because it is still only 6:38 in the morning. And the thing is that this thing recycles throughout the day. So somebody listening at noon is going to say, why the hell would I worry whether it's 6:38 in the morning if you're fool enough to get up, Hayes, at that time? We're not going to pay much attention to you. Don't blame you. You know, one of the newspapers this morning has said that the heat in the UK makes us hotter than Cairo. And I just remember I've only ever been to Cairo once. I can't say that it was a city that intrigued me. However, some of the things that are surrounded, like the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx, are quite incredible. They do a son et lumière, a light and sound show around the Sphinx and its history, and the history of this absolutely ancient and magnificent city in that sense. Just somehow it just isn't one that sticks in my memory, particularly as a city. Nonetheless, it is interesting, and Son et Lumière is a breathtaking experience. Going into the inner parts of the Great Pyramids is another interesting experience, and having your heel nibbled by a camel that isn't very friendly and doesn't really want you on his back is another. So Cairo, hotter. We're hotter than Cairo today. and it was 33, 34, 35 degrees or something. In my converter, that makes it over 100, and I can't even remember as a boy fine summers that we had back then. I can't remember ever it being 100. So, boiling point. Watch out. I damn near boiled yesterday, that's for sure. Here we go this morning then, talking to people in Lewis. Well, we're not. We're talking to people anywhere, but we are in Lewis in the UK. A lovely town, a town of spirit, a town of interest, a town that is going through a great deal of trauma at the moment, in my view, but it has always in the past come out and understood what it is and where it's going, and then it's knuckled down and got on with things. And I suspect that probably one of the things that is going to happen is that we will be innovators in the coronavirus situation after lockdown. The only thing is that this will come from private enterprise. It'll come from people like us, and from the people at Town and County, for whom I write the odd article. It is the innovators, is the toughies that will help not change, but develop to meet the circumstances, the nature and the mood of Lewis, this little town in East Sussex, which is going to suffer from a hot, hot day today. Now, talking of hot, hot, and good news is we had less deaths and less hits from coronavirus yesterday than since the first signs of an outbreak. And that's one of the things that is encouraging. Mind you, the Russians have claimed that they have got the first vaccine, the first antivirus vaccine. It's back to the old Cold War days, isn't it? What's that wonderful Doris Day thing? I can do anything better than you. Yes, you can. No, you can't. Yes, you can. No, you can't. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. No, you can't. So everybody is now claiming that they're either going to be the first or the best with an anti-COVID virus patent thingamajiggy, jab you in the arm or take a tablet. It's amazing that we get involved in these sort of things. I mean, does it take our mind? Does it take our minds off the dangers? Why is it that we have to suddenly boast about a cure of something that's killed thousands and has been, it can't kill thousands, kill millions, and has been the centre of a different existence for the last 6 months or so? Really, do we care who is first with the virus? What we really care about is let's get some sort of cure if we can. But in the meantime, those idiots that decide that they know better, okay, in some ways perhaps we should think with the idiocy that goes on in government at the moment, and seemingly backed up by the idiocy of the health authorities, is because nobody seems to know what to say, what to do. One day they say one thing and the next day they retract it. But for the moment, let us assume that this is a virus that is running rabid through our society, and we have to stop it somehow. And one of the ways is, until such time as a cure or a prevention medicine is developed and put on the market, let us keep safely away from those who might just pass it on. I've always felt very, very sorry for the man who was the last man to be shot during wartime. When one day we're at war, bang, he's dead. The next day we're at peace. And I feel the same about this. I'm going to feel very sorry